Good morning. This is East African University, Rwanda. Today we are going to show you how to make Mexican soup. It's a vegetarian soup. I really enjoy the soup. I hope you enjoy it. We need olive oil just to fry our vegetables, onions, garlic, leeks, celery, and dices of carrots, green peppers, sweet corns, peas, beans, tomatoes, and the puree of tomato, the stock, and some spices like paprika, salt, and pepper. Then finally, we shall garnish our soup with coriander, avocado, and tortilla. We are going to start with the tortilla bread. Here we need some flour, salt, baking powder, olive oil, and water. Extra flour to dust. And the equipment we need here is the pan and the rolling pin. I mix the flour with a little bit of salt. Taste. A little bit of baking powder, like a half teaspoon in 1 cup of flour, and a quarter teaspoon of salt. I will also add like 2 tablespoons of oil, and some water. Then I mix. So add the water little by little until you get a soft dough. So you see that the dough is not too soft and not too hard. If you look at the dough, it's almost done. What I will need to do is just to give it some few minutes to set and rest. I will dust my container with flour. I put my dough. Then I cover with a clean wet cloth. Then I give it some time to rest. Now for the Mexican vegetable soup, we shall need chopped onions, chopped garlic, some sweet corns, boiled beans, red beans, some dices of leeks, dices of celery, tomatoes to make our puree, then dices of green pepper, dices of tomatoes, avocado to garnish, and some peas. We shall also add the coriander and dices of carrots. The spices we need is just white pepper and paprika, then salt to taste. We also need vegetable stock. It is here simmering. Finally, we shall serve our soup with the tortilla bread. Our soup pot on heat. One tablespoon, some onion, and garlic. Sweat without calorie. The main ingredients for the Mexican cuisine, they are sweet corns, beans, and tomatoes. And also paprika is one of the spices in Mexican cuisine. So at this stage, you can season with paprika, just like 1 teaspoon, and like a quarter teaspoon of pepper, and some salt to taste. Let it boil for 3 minutes. Then you add vegetable stock. I will not add the beans at this stage and the tomatoes, since they may mash along the cooking process. So I will add them last minute, like since beans are cooked like 6-7 minutes before the soup gets ready, so that they don't lose their shape. So the rest of the ingredients, you may add them at the same time, but reserve only beans and tomatoes. I will add more stock, the vegetable stock. This is the tortilla bread you have made, and you have left it somewhere covered just to set, so that the gluten can work out. You can see that it is elastic. It is because the gluten which is in the flour has given time. Now I'm going to shape them in small rolls. Then I roll each and every ball to a thin round bread, just like chapati, but these ones will be very thin. So we fry our tortilla on a hot pan. We put on the tortilla, make sure it is very thin. Once you notice bubbles, that is when you are ready to turn it upside down. Make sure your pan is dry, no oil. Remember, we have mixed some oil in the mixture. So they are actually dry breads, Mexican dry breads. They are crispy and dry. You can notice some bubbles. Now it is time to turn it upside down. Actually, you can even find these in supermarkets. You can buy already made tortilla, but these are homemade. So for the first round, it is done. Now you see they are soft, but to make them dry, you need to fry them once again on a little bit lower heat compared to the first one for blanching. So for the second time, they will come out dry. Now you can see the soup is now ready 5 minutes after the addition of our beans and tomatoes, and you can see that all the ingredients we added are all seen in the soup. And if you see that the color is not good, you can add a little bit of tomato paste just for coloring. Tomato paste just to enhance the color of the soup. And make sure don't use something big that may mash your ingredients. So that's why I'm using a very thin spatula, just to ensure that my ingredients are not mashed. Now the color is good. You can see that the color is not too red, but also not too white. Now it's time to add in chopped coriander. I will add my chopped cilantro. Now you can see that the soup has a very nice color and garnished with coriander. I will give it a final test. Before it goes to my customers, I must have a test. Wow. You see, it is one of the vegetable soup that I like. So I will just leave it like this. Then if the client wants more pepper, wants more salt, he may add for himself. Good. Now let's serve the soup. So we serve our soup. Make sure all the ingredients are there. If it is a starter, you don't need to serve too much. It may work as an appetizer to our customers, so you don't need to add too much. That's it. Once our soup is ready, we just garnish with dices of avocados. Just cut the avocado in small dices. Just place on top of the soup. So it goes together with the tortilla. So you can listen to the tortilla is very crispy. So I'm just going to shape it into triangles.